By day 3, I had my phone in hand. A nurse had been nice enough to charge it. Said it had been buzzing the whole time. I scrolled. And brother, what I found hurt worse than any wreck ever could. Texts. Dozens. From people I barely knew. Screenshots. Conversations I wasn't supposed to see. Some with my name, most without. But they all had one thing in common. Heather. Heather with the flirty smirk and the fake tears. Heather who told me she loved me more than life itself. Heather, who apparently didn't waste a damn minute while I was unconscious. First it was a coworker. Then a bartender. Then Austin. Yeah, Austin. Turns out that six-pack came with a side of guilt. I sat there, jaw tight, breath shallow, scrolling through months of her loyalty. Party pics. Bed selfies. Dumb little memes she sent them, the same ones she used to send me. My heart didn't break. Not in some movie scene way. It cracked slow. Quiet. Like an old floorboard finally giving up. They say when you wake up from a coma, your senses come back in pieces. Sound, light, pain, memory. Me? I woke up to the smell of antiseptic and betrayal. But let me give you a little background. 6 weeks earlier, I was driving home from work, a mechanic's shop out in Macon, Georgia, when some idiot ran a red light and plowed into the side of my old Chevy. I don't remember the hit. Don't remember the sirens. Hell, I don't even remember the first 2 weeks they say I spent fighting for my life. But I sure as hell remember the day I woke up. And what came after. There were flowers on the windowsill. One balloon that said, "Get well soon." But that balloon had deflated so much it looked like it was apologizing for sticking around. My mom sat in the corner, eyes red like she'd been fighting a war. She saw me stir, leapt out of the chair, and cried out for the nurse. Doctors came. Nurses. A whole damn choir of well-meaning folks poking and prodding and smiling like I'd just been reborn. I played along. Smiled weakly. Nodded when they asked stupid questions like, "Do you know your name?" "Yeah. Jake Walker. 28. Not dead. Not yet. Anyway, I didn't ask about her at first. I waited. The second day, my buddy Austin dropped by. Said he'd been visiting every week. He left a six-pack in the closet for when you get out of here, man. Still wouldn't look me in the eye, though. And on the third day, I saw the terrible truth. That night, I didn't sleep. Just laid there listening to the machines, reading every filthy message. Watching my past get scrubbed clean like it never mattered. The next morning, a doctor said my progress had slowed. That the trauma, mental or emotional, might be holding me back. I just nodded. Because that's when I made a decision. I was done healing for her. From now on, I'd heal for me, and maybe, just maybe, for the revenge I was gonna wrap up like a gift she'd never forget. The hospital let me out after 12 days. Said I was a miracle case. Yeah, I sure felt like one, limping down the sidewalk, 10 pounds lighter and 20 years older, dragging a duffel bag of meds and pity behind me. My folks offered to let me stay with them. I passed. Took a ride-share home to the little 2-bedroom house I'd been renting before the wreck. When I stepped through that front door, it was like walking into someone else's life. Nothing was touched except the stuff that mattered. Her clothes were gone. Her things. Her stupid little cactus collection on the windowsill. She hadn't left a note. Just a pile of pain and a half-used bottle of shampoo. I spent the first week sleeping in a recliner, 'cause I couldn't lay flat without feeling like my ribs were gonna snap. Didn't talk to nobody. Barely ate. Just sat there in the dark, replaying every lie I'd believed. Now, folks say time heals all wounds. But they forget to mention what time really does. It hardens you. And on day 8, I got angry. The good kind. The kind that burns slow but true. The kind that clears your head and sharpens your edge. I started writing. Not love letters, a damn list. Every name. Every date. Every clue I could dig up from the messages and photos folks sent me. Turned out Heather left a digital trail sloppier than a possum in a chicken coop. And that's when the idea was born. Not rage. Not spite. A plan. I didn't expect to meet Megan. It was a Thursday. I dragged myself to a little coffee shop across town. One of those cozy places with old couches and folk music playing too soft to enjoy. I was stir-crazy. Needed to sit somewhere that didn't reek of ointment and self-pity. She bumped into me near the sugar station, spilled a bit of her chai latte down my front. I muttered something like, "No big deal," and dabbed at it with a napkin. She paused, tilted her head. "Jake," she said. "Jake Walker." I blinked. "Do I know you? You dated Heather, right?" Now, normally that'd be my cue to fake a bathroom emergency and vanish. But her tone wasn't smug or nosy. It was sympathetic. maybe even a little bitter. I nodded slowly. She let out a breath like she'd been holding it for months. Well, she said, sticking out her hand. Guess we're both members of the Heather Survivors Club. I'm Megan. We sat and talked. For hours. Turned out Megan used to be Heather's best friend, ride or die since middle school. Until Heather started sleeping with Megan's boyfriend and told everyone Megan had mental issues to cover her own tracks. You know, Megan said, stirring her tea slow, some people cheat because they're lost. But Heather? She does it for sport. I laughed, first real one I'd had in weeks. Megan smiled, too. Not one of those polished Instagram grins. A real one. Crooked and tired, just like mine. That's when she said it. You ever think about getting even? I stared at her over the rim of my cup and said the truest thing I'd spoken since I woke up in that hospital. Every damn day. We left that coffee shop with a handshake and a shared grin that said more than words ever could. Heather thought she'd walked away clean. What she didn't know was that two people she betrayed, from opposite ends of the fire, just found each other. And when two burn victims swap stories long enough, eventually they start cooking up a fire of their own. We met twice a week after that. Always the same place. Little coffee shop with wobbly tables and that dumb chalkboard sign out front that said, espresso yourself. I hated that pun, but it felt like our war room. Megan brought her laptop. I brought a yellow legal pad and a head full of names. Rule number 1, she said, chewing the end of her pen, we don't go loud. Not yet. I nodded. Rule number 2? I asked. She smirked. We ruin her slow. One lie at a time. Now, let me tell you a little about Heather. She didn't just cheat. She built a whole side hustle on it. Influencer scams, fake giveaways, body-positive wellness coaching for brands that didn't even know she existed. Half her life was a lie, but damn if she didn't sell it with style. Ring lights, pre-scheduled tweets, perfect brunch photos with quotes like, protect your peace. Meanwhile, she was neck-deep in shady deals and backseat meetups with whatever Tinder reject smelled like cologne and vape juice. She wasn't just toxic. She was profitable. So we made a list. Receipt the list, in no particular order. Kyle D. Her ex she ghosted after draining his savings. Megan knew his sister. Trevor G. One of the guys she slept with while I was in the coma had a girlfriend at the time. Aunt Cheryl. Yeah, her Aunt Cheryl. Megan said Heather conned her out of $800 for some fake dog breeder investment. Wellness, brand sponsors who'd paid Heather for posts and never got him. A married gym owner who gifted her a membership in exchange for brand collabs and then got blackmailed for harassment. And, of course, my OL pal Austin. He was still trying to pretend we were good, leaving hey man just checking in texts like nothing happened. I didn't respond, but I did take notes. While I was mapping the betrayal from a cold garage office behind the shop I worked at, Megan was building a spider web. Girl knew her tech. She showed me how to spoof burner accounts, how to reverse image search Heather's fake giveaways, even how to trace the IP on a ghost email Heather once used to post lies about Megan being unstable. I was impressed. Told her she should have worked for the CIA. Nah, she said with a shrug. They don't pay in revenge. After a couple weeks, we moved to Phase 1, surveillance. Now, don't get me wrong, this wasn't Mission Impossible stuff. We weren't planting bugs in her vents or rappelling down apartment buildings. We just watched. Heather had moved into a high-rise across town, courtesy of a tech bro she was mentoring. Megan followed the guy on LinkedIn. Real mouth-breather type who bragged about crypto like it was oxygen. I rigged a GPS under Heather's bumper. Real slick, magnetic, battery-powered, and barely bigger than a matchbox. Learned it from a guy on the crew who used to track cheating spouses for a side hustle. Legal? Megan asked, raising an eyebrow. Legal adjacent, I replied. 2 days later, the GPS pinged a new address. Same spot, same nights. I ran a plate check on the car parked next to hers. Trevor G. The same Trevor she swore she'd never talk to again. The one she hooked up with 2 weeks into my coma while posting prayers for my recovery online. Now, here's the thing. I didn't care who she dated. I wasn't some jealous ex with a camera. I was building a case. Because Trevor's girlfriend? Still very much in the picture. And once Megan tracked down her socials, guess what? She was pregnant. Heather knew. We had texts to prove it. That was the night Megan and I sat across from each other in that coffee shop and just stared. We weren't mad. We weren't sad. We were calm. That's the thing about her, Megan said. She always underestimates the quiet ones. I nodded. She thinks we're healing, I said. She has no idea we're sharpening blades. Monday morning, just after sunrise, Megan looked up from her laptop and said the words that meant the game was truly on. It's time we give her what she loves most. I raised an eyebrow. Attention. She grinned. Close. A brand deal. Now, Heather thrived on the illusion of status, ring lights, filters, fake giveaways, and that whole boss babe energy that made gullible people think she was living off organic smoothies and manifesting rent money. So we built her a carrot, one wrapped in gold foil and tied with a shiny little bow. Megan created a fake skincare brand in under 48 hours. I'm talking logo, website, mission statement, even a cringy slogan. Reveal the glow within. We bought a domain, used a fake business email, and made sure the Instagram page was dripping with pastel colors and soft lighting. Megan even posted fake influencer collabs with stock models and AI-generated captions. I contributed by naming a face serum after my dog. It was called Tucker Dew. Heather followed the account within 6 hours. 2 days later, she got a DM. Hey Heather, we love your vibe and would love to collab on a paid launch campaign for our Radiance line. Let us know if you're interested. Dizzy Sparkles. She replied in 7 minutes. Absolutely. I love supporting clean skincare. What do you need from me? Hook, line, and ego. We sent her a fake contract. Looked official, full of buzzwords. Ambassadorship rights. Brand alignment clause. Exclusivity period. All fake. All bait. We asked for her shipping address, social links, and a short video talking about why she trusted Glow Theory with her skin. She sent everything within the hour. Even filmed the video. Said things like, I only partner with brands that reflect authenticity, integrity, and real impact. I nearly spit out my coffee. Phase 2. Watch her brag. As expected, Heather couldn't keep quiet. She posted an Instagram story with the caption, excited to join the hashtag GlowFam as their newest ambassador, Sparkling Heart Skincare with Purpose. Within 2 days, 2 other small brands she actually worked with reached out in the comments, confused. We weren't done. We leaked fake insider info through an anonymous Reddit thread called Beware of Influencers Scamming Skincare Startups. Included Heather's fake contract, redacted, a screenshot of her pushing Glow Theory, and a fake DM thread where she promised to post and promote in exchange for early payment. We didn't even have to tag her. By the weekend, real brand managers were watching. And Heather's inbox? Well, let's just say it wasn't full of collaboration offers anymore. But the real twist? One of her actual sponsors, a mid-size beauty brand based in Atlanta, had strict exclusivity clauses. Megan emailed them anonymously with screenshots. Subject line: Your influencer is promoting competitors under fake accounts. 24 hours later, Heather's face disappeared from their website. 2 days after that, she posted a panicked story. Sometimes life throws shade at your light, but I stay glowing sparkles flexed biceps. That's influencer speak for, I just lost a paycheck. We didn't high-five or pop champagne. That's not how this kind of revenge works. We sat in the back of that coffee shop, sipping bitter espresso, watching the fire start to catch. Because that was just the first match. The next step? Expose the cracks in her inner circle, the people she used, cheated with, or stepped over. And trust me, some of them were real ready to talk. You ever see a tree that looks sturdy till a storm rolls through and rips it in half? That was Heather's circle of friends. Glossy on the outside, hollow as a dollar store Easter bunny on the inside. And we were the storm. Megan started with a name, Chelsea Ray. They'd been best friends once, the inseparable kind that posted TikToks in matching sweaters and called each other soul sisters. Until Heather borrowed Chelsea's credit card to buy a pair of Gucci slides and never paid her back. Claimed the bank must have messed up. Then there was Landon, her gym buddy turned side fling. He didn't even know about Jake. Hell, he thought he was the main boyfriend. And Brandon, a so-called spiritual healer Heather used for clout, then ghosted when his following dropped. Megan made a group chat. Yep, a group chat. She called it the Heather Survivors Club. At first, it was just her and Chelsea. But within a week, it was 7 people deep, all folks who had stories, receipts, screenshots, betrayals. And once people realized they weren't alone, buddy, it was like uncorking a bottle of bourbon at a Baptist wedding. One of them dropped a bomb. A girl named Sadie worked with Heather at a boutique, said Heather had been using stolen employee discounts to resell clothes online at full price. Even got caught once. blamed it on Sadie, and cost her the job. I lost rent money, Sadie said. Heather posted a selfie about outgrowing toxic spaces that same day. Megan said nothing, just added it to the file. Now, while Megan ran the inner circle sabotage, I started my own quiet mission. Austin, my so-called best friend, the one who dropped off that six-pack in the hospital and didn't think I'd notice the guilt in his eyes. He was a bartender at the Rusty Rail, good crowd, cheap wings, always packed on weekends. I rolled in one Friday, ordered a beer, and waited. Austin saw me from behind the bar. Froze mid-pour. Jake, he said, a little too bright. Man, good to see you out. I gave him a nod. Didn't smile. Busy night, I said. Lot of folks here. He shrugged. Yeah, Fridays are crazy. Hey, how you feeling, man? Better. Every day, I said. Then I leaned in. Quiet. Calm. You still talk to Heather? His hand flinched around the beer glass. Not really. I mean, here and there, but I didn't press. Didn't need to. I left a $20 tip and said, tell her I said hi. And thanks for the screenshots. Austin blinked, lips parted, face draining pale. Wait, what screenshots? I patted the bar twice and walked out. Let him stew in it. By now, Heather was posting fewer selfies, fewer motivational quotes, more cryptic stories about fake friends and jealous people trying to bring down queens. Which was rich, considering she built her castle on lies and borrowed eyelashes. We didn't stop there. Megan dropped an anonymous tip to the boutique's HR department, screenshots of Heather's fake resale page, timestamped photos of her posing in merchandise labeled inventory only. That got her flagged for internal review. Then we ran the final test. Megan reached out from a burner account, posing as a new wellness brand, offering Heather $500 for a single story post and a giveaway partnership. All they needed was proof of engagement and a behind-the-scenes look at how she shot content. Heather sent a video bragging about buying fake followers to boost her stats. Literally held up her screen showing the bots. We sent the clip to every sponsor still on her profile. 2 days later, her follower count dropped by 12,000. Overnight. Heather still hadn't figured out where the leak was coming from. But her world? It was shrinking fast. Friendships falling apart. Brand deals crumbling. Rumors spreading like gasoline on a cookout. And we were just getting warmed up. Heather was unraveling, not in a screaming, throwing things kind of way. No, hers was the influencer version of a nervous breakdown. Cryptic tweets. Over-edited selfies with dead eyes. Instagram captions that sounded like fortune cookies dipped in self-pity. Not everyone can handle a real one. Some bridges are meant to burn, so you light the way. God gives his toughest battles to the hottest girls. Yeah, all right. Meanwhile, Megan and I, we kept it quiet. We didn't throw dirt, we planted it, watered it, watched it grow into a full-blown garden of consequences. And buddy, spring was in bloom. One night, Megan slid a manila folder across the table at the coffee shop. Everything from her fake tax filings to that wellness coaching income she never claimed. I blinked. Where'd you get this? She grinned. Her Google Drive is public. You'd be surprised how many influencers store screenshots of their own scams. She wasn't kidding. We had PDFs, DMs, even a one-page invoice template she used with a fake business license ID. I took it home, scanned every line, laughed out loud when I saw her signature, still looping little hearts over the I in her name like a middle school yearbook. Next day, we made 2 anonymous reports. To the IRS. To 2 brands she hadn't scammed yet but was publicly begging to work with. We gave them just enough breadcrumbs to spark a little investigation, a little suspicion. Then we sat back. Heather posted a story that afternoon. When the devil sees you glowing, he sends haters to dim your light. But baby, I'm solar-powered. Megan nearly choked on her iced chai. Now here's where it got fun. Jake Walker, good OL, coma survivor, humble mechanic, started acting friendly again. I sent Heather a DM. Real simple. Hey, hope you're doing all right. I know things got weird. Maybe we could meet sometime. Just talk. She read it in 6 minutes. Replied in 10. Wow, I didn't expect that. Honestly, I'd love to talk. I miss how simple things were before. Simple, she said. I told her I'd meet her at Keller's Diner. Middle of town. Public. Neutral ground. Megan raised an eyebrow when I told her. You sure? Absolutely, I said. Let her feel like she's got the upper hand. She showed up late, of course. Tight dress, fake lashes, fake smile. Sat down like she was doing me a favor. I wasn't sure you'd show, she said, fluttering those lashes. I wasn't sure you'd want to see me after everything, I replied, looking appropriately wounded. She launched into a whole speech, said she was going through a transformational period, how she'd made mistakes but learned from them. Talked about alignment and vibrations and some chakra thing I didn't understand, all while sipping an oat milk latte like it was holy water. I listened, nodded, even smiled a little, all part of the setup. Then I said, "You ever miss just being real?" She tilted her head. "What do you mean?" "You know, not the brand, not the storylines, just real people, real consequences." Something flickered behind her eyes. Confusion? Suspicion? I shrugged, paid the bill, walked her to her car, and just as she opened the door, I said, "By the way, if you ever want to be real again, you might want to start with your taxes." Her head whipped around. "Excuse me." I smiled. "You'll figure it out." Then I walked away. Next morning, she posted a video with a ring light, puffy eyes, and dramatic piano music. Sometimes people come back into your life just to break you again. Comments were turned off. One of her sponsors dropped her that afternoon. Heather had no idea how we were doing it. People were leaving her life like passengers off a burning bus. Her friends stopped answering. Her deals dried up. Her followers dropped faster than a bad crypto coin. And through it all, Jake and Megan just smiled. Because when you pull the rug out slow enough, they never notice they're falling until their face hits the floor. You ever seen someone build their whole identity on a lie, then get shocked when people stop clapping? That was Heather, queen of filters and fiction. But now, the walls were closing in. Her brand was flaking like a dollar store sticker. The sponsorships were gone. The friend group? Ghosted. She was scrambling to keep the image alive, but Megan and I were already 3 moves ahead. The final stage of our little operation? Simple. Let Heather trap herself, publicly, permanently, and with enough documentation to make a preacher cuss. So we planned the forgiveness trap. Megan helped me clean up, new haircut, cleaned up Instagram, photos of me working back at the garage, smiling with customers, even one of me grilling in the backyard with my dog. Normal. Real. Relatable. Meanwhile, Heather was posting vague laments about fake people and energy vampires, fishing for sympathy from a crowd that was thinning by the day. I sent her one more message. "Hey, I've been thinking a lot. I know things got messy, but I don't want to carry all this bitterness. Can we meet? Just no drama. Closure." She said yes. Of course she did. We met at that same diner. She showed up wearing sunglasses, inside, like she was dodging paparazzi. "I'm really glad you reached out," she said, sliding into the booth like a Lifetime movie lead. "I've been doing a lot of healing." I nodded. Let her talk. She said things like, "I know I hurt you, and I just want to be better. I was broken back then. I was scared. I didn't know if you'd live." All while sipping her green smoothie like she hadn't shattered half a dozen people without blinking. I kept a straight face. Megan, sitting 2 booths back with a ball cap and laptop, captured everything. Crystal clear. Then came the turn. Heather smiled, that smug cat who ate the canary grin. "You know, we could even do something positive with this. Like a content series. Healing after betrayal or something. You tell your side. I tell mine. Redemption arc." She really said that. A redemption arc. I took a breath and said, "Sure, I'll think about it." Because that's what she wanted, another spotlight, even if it was soaked in gasoline. Later that night, Megan uploaded the entire recording to a private video link. Edited it with context clips, screenshots of her fake giveaways, tax dodges, testimonial clips from Chelsea, Sadie, even Trevor's girlfriend. Title of the video? The Real Heather. Filtered Lies and Unpaid Receipts. We sent it to one person. A content creator named Real Lexi, who made a living busting fake influencers. 500,000 followers. Brutal and fair. Already followed Heather, probably waiting for her to slip. Lexi replied in 10 minutes. Holy sh*t. Buckle up. By morning, the video was live. Over 300,000 views in 12 hours. Lexi didn't just post the video. She broke it down. Timeline of Heather's cheating, lies, and scams. Evidence of brand fraud and tax issues. Interviews from former friends and exes. The diner clip with Heather talking about monetizing Jake's trauma. The internet did what the internet does best. It tore her to shreds. Comments flooded in. This girl's a walking red flag. She faked a healing arc to sell skincare? scammed her best friend and her coma boyfriend. New level unlocked. Her follower count plummeted. Her emails leaked, sponsors demanding refunds. The wellness coaching group she was a part of released a statement distancing themselves. Within 2 days, her Instagram was set to private. 3 days later, it was gone altogether. And Jake? I was sitting on my porch when the news broke, dog at my feet, beer in hand. Megan sent me a text. Guess we lit the fuse after all. I replied, yeah, and she brought the fireworks. By the time the 3rd day passed, Heather wasn't trending, she was imploding. TikTok had stitched that diner clip more times than I could count. Reaction videos, memes. Even one of her old wellness affirmations turned into a remix called Lie, Cry, Repeat. It was brutal, but honest. She tried to fight back, made a new account, posted some long-winded My Truth video filmed from the front seat of a car, all shaky camera and crocodile tears. Didn't even last an hour. The comments dragged her like wet laundry. Girl, you monetized a man's coma. You faked giveaways and stole from your aunt. You really thought Healing Journey meant public scamathon? She deleted the video and went radio silent. But the real moment, the one that finally finished it, came 2 days later. The confrontation. I was at the garage, finishing a brake job on an old Tacoma when the office phone rang. Jake. It was Shelley at the front desk. There's a woman here asking for you. Says she knows you. Looks rough. I wiped my hands and stepped out into the waiting room. And there she was. Heather. Hair a mess. Eyes puffy. Wearing sunglasses again, but not the designer kind. The drugstore kind. Her voice was small. Can we talk? I didn't say yes. Didn't say no. Just walked outside and leaned against the wall. She followed, hugging herself like it was January. I didn't know, she said after a pause. I didn't think it would get this bad. I looked at her. Really looked. This wasn't the Heather who posted filtered brunch shots and called herself a light worker. This was the version underneath all that. Raw. Cornered. Alone. People turned on me, she whispered. Friends. Brands. Everyone. I nodded. People tend to do that when they find out you lied to him. She blinked fast. You think you're some hero now? I pushed off the wall and stepped closer. Not threatening, not angry. Just steady. I'm not a hero, I said. I'm the consequence. Her mouth opened, like she wanted to argue, scream, cry, but nothing came out. You thought I'd be too broken to fight back, I added. You thought you could cheat, lie, scam, and walk away clean. Then I leaned in, quiet, final. But you forgot something. She stared up at me. You didn't just burn a bridge, I said. You built it out of stolen wood. She left without another word. Got into her beat-up sedan and drove off slow, not like she was running, like she had nowhere else left to go. That night, Megan and I sat on my porch again. She handed me a beer and raised hers like a toast. To the long game, she said. I clinked mine against hers. To karma and good planning. We didn't gloat, didn't post about it. Just sat there while the sun went down behind the trees and the world finally felt right. You ever watch a fire from a distance? Not the chaos of the first flames, but the slow, creeping ruin that follows? That was Heather's life in the weeks after the video hit. Gone was the shiny apartment, the sponsorships, the followers, the endless brand partnerships and free PR packages, all replaced with silence. Even her car, that white Lexus she used for every on my way to a meeting face-blowing a kiss selfie, towed and sold at auction. Turns out when you don't file taxes for 2 years and list yourself as a consultant for a company that doesn't exist, the IRS gets mighty curious. The chain reaction. We never had to say a word. Chelsea Ray went public with her side of the story, posted screenshots of texts, receipts, the credit card charge. Trevor's girlfriend posted their pregnancy announcement and tagged Heather's burner account, calling her the ghost in our relationship. The wellness brand she ripped off posted a public blacklist. And the boutique? They filed charges. Felony-level stuff. Reselling stolen inventory isn't just shady, it's criminal. Add that to the tax stuff and a few civil suits from former sponsors demanding refunds. Heather wasn't just canceled. She was in court. The day in court. Megan and I didn't attend the hearing. No reason to. The damage was done long before she ever saw the inside of that courtroom. But we kept an eye on the docket. Watched the public records come in. She pled no contest to fraud. Got probation. Lost her business license. The fake one and the real one she tried to build after the collapse. was ordered to pay restitution to 2 companies and 1 private plaintiff, her own it. The best part? She had to sell almost everything she owned to cover the debts, even her ring light. The final move. There was one last thing we hadn't used. A 2-minute voicemail she left on Megan's phone a year ago, back when they'd first stopped speaking. Slurred voice, full of venom. I made you. You were nothing before me. If people ever saw the real you, you'd be done. Megan had saved it. Not out of spite, just instinct. She posted it, with one caption. Funny how the real you always outs itself. It didn't go viral. Didn't need to. By that point, Heather had no voice left to defend herself with. Her silence said everything. Jake's moment. I was working late one night, closing up the garage, when Austin walked in. He looked rough, pale, sweaty. I didn't know she was like that, he said. I didn't mean to get in the middle. I leaned against the workbench. Let the silence hang. You lied to me, I said. You let me wake up alone. He tried to speak. I shook my head. I don't hate you, I added. But we're done. For good. He left without arguing. That's the thing about cowards. They only fight when they think they've got the crowd behind him. And Heather? She took the crowd with her. The town's verdict. Small towns don't forget. Her name was mud. Her face? Avoided. Even the people who once tagged her in brunch photos wouldn't speak her name. She left town 2 months later. Didn't say goodbye. No one asked where she went. No one cared. Jake and Megan? We didn't celebrate. Didn't need to. The revenge wasn't loud anymore. It was a result. Permanent. Measured. Clean. And when it was over, we didn't look back. We looked forward.